Okay, today we are going to talk about the TOG. This is a giant monster tank. It's one of the biggest Tier 6 tanks as far as girth and length especially. It's really long. And it's unique. It is a premium tank. It's 3,500 gold full price. I would not buy it full price. In fact, I got mine half off. Occasionally they do go half off, but World Tanks has kind of changed their policy, whereas Tier 8s never went on sale, and when they did, they were 15% off, and then everything else would go on 50% off. They've now made it so that Tier 6 and 7, oftentimes when they go on sale, they're not 50% off anymore. They're 30% off. So it may be a long time before we see this tank go half off again, but it does happen occasionally. So keep your eyes open for a half off deal if you're not real excited to get this tank. But if it's something that you really want, 30% is okay. And I wouldn't balk the tank at 30%. I mean, I still would prefer to get 50% off, but I would not get it because it's 30% off instead of 50. But it's definitely a tank that has to fit your play style. And if not, you'll struggle with it. And I do struggle with this tank. I don't want to say it's terrible. It's not. It's an okay tank. The gun is really good, but it's a big target, and it's so slow moving. One of the big problems that I have with the TOG is that you're going to get to somewhere, and if there's a problem back the other way, you forget it. You're never going back. You're never going to make it back in time. So if you're the top tank, you have to really be careful where you go, and you have to pick a direction that's going to make a difference. And 50% of that, honestly, I think is luck. I mean, obviously, know the route that suits this tank the best, but also know that if they start capping the base and you're all by yourself, they probably are going to win. You're almost not going to make it back. This has a top speed of 14 kilometers per hour. The only tank I can think of offhand that's slower is the FCM, the PAC 40 tank destroyer, the French tank destroyer. That's Tier 3, and that thing goes, I think, like 12. It can reach 15 and 16. I think it's marked as a 16 speed limit, but it never reaches that. It's not going to happen. So this tank comes close to that. It's very slow. People tend to want to push the TOG, but there's no point. If you're a TOG pusher, don't push, because it makes the TOG go 14 and a half or 15. I mean, you're getting 1 kilometer per hour more. And now you've got a tank that could be out and battling, stuck behind you pushing. And you're not, so you've lost 2 tanks now. So pushing doesn't help the TOG, and it doesn't give it any additional speed. It's too heavy, and the transmission will not allow it to go any faster. So you're never going to get it faster than 15 kilometers per hour, and it probably already is traveling at that speed. So one of the things that I want to tell you for sure that you need to do with the TOG, and, you know, if you've learned anything about the cruise, this tank, and as you can see here, I don't have any British heavies, so my crew is actually a TOG crew. Now, if you're using this the right way, you would have a Churchill, 1 or a Churchill 7 or the Black Prince, and you would be having those crews run this tank. But I don't have that, so I just use a TOG crew. And I have trained my driver with this clutch braking. And I'm not at 100% yet, but it's already almost all the way kicked in. This improves the tank. I can't even tell you how much you have to have this feature on the tank. And really, for most heavies, you're going to want to have clutch braking, because you have to get the tank whipped around, and sometimes you're going to have people coming behind you, and if you got your big butt sticking out, you're going to get killed. So if you can whip this thing around and get the front to them, so the better armor, which this does have better armor on the front and sides. It's not great, but it's better. Then you're going to be better protected from incoming fire. And so it is important that you are able to turn this tank around. Plus, I think it backs up like at 4 or 5 kilometers per hour, and so it takes forever to back up. So this is very important when you get to 100% and you're given your chance to pick a perk. Please pick clutch braking for this tank. And I would imagine that's probably true for the Churchills too, because they are slow movers. And usually slow moving tanks need that, so you can whip the tank. Not really whip the tank, but it makes a difference. And you'll see when I battle how fast I can turn this tank. It's got a traverse of 20, but it's definitely a little bit faster than that because of the clutch braking. So I think it gives you like a 10% increase. It doesn't say. Maybe we can get into the perk here. Personnel file. Let's see. Increases vehicle rotation speed. Doesn't say how much. It's a cumulative effect. Oh, and if you have grousers, Lend-Lease oil, or quality oil, or a remove speed governor, or the 105 octane gas, this will actually work faster. So all of those things add to the clutch braking, but I don't use any of those because I'm cheap. So if I had the grousers, I would, but this tank doesn't have grousers available. So anyway, you can increase the rotational speed of this tank using those things, but also using just by itself, it increases it, and there's a marked difference. So let's talk a little bit about the stats of the tank, and we're not going to get into real heavy depth here, but 1,400 hit points. It's by far the most hit points of any tank on its tier. See that? Here's our T150, 860 with the KV2, 820 with the ARL. The ARL has good frontal armor, by the way, for those of you that don't know. If you keep their front to an enemy, they're going to have a hard time, especially with a little bit of angling. So yeah, I mean, those are the ones that I have. Obviously, the KV1S I think is even less, so it's almost a medium in armor. So 1,400 hit points, that's a big hit pool to pull from. However, the issue that you're going to run into is that you only have 76 armor. So almost any tank at Tier 6 has enough to penetrate you, and a lot of Tier 5s and Tier 4s can also penetrate your armor. So don't expect miracles, and that's one of the reasons why I with this profile, you need to keep this tank on the best route possible, and that route includes places that have ditches, valleys, gullies, rocks, buildings, anything that you can do to cover your lower half, because the whole hull is weak. And you will bounce shots with this occasionally, but it is easy to penetrate this tank, and this is a big honking weak spot right here where the doors are. This could almost pass for like a lounge car passenger vehicle. You open these up, have the driver up here, and open these up and have like a little table and some coffee served. People can act like they're in a little mobile cafe while they're driving along. But in all seriousness, the turret has decent armor, 114 at the front. Now it's flat. It's got a little curve to it. So you are going to bounce some shots off the front of the turret, and I have before. Nothing spectacular, but it will bounce a couple shots. But it does have -10 on the gun depression. So you can do a little bit of pop-up shooting, with a little bit of hull down and using the terrain to hide the bottom of the tank while shooting over it. Not great, but it is doable. But really, you need to use the terrain and keep the tank protected at all costs, because you're going to get ripped to shreds if you don't. Now, that comes to probably the best part of this tank, which is the gun. And the gun is the 17-pounder. The 17-pounder is used on many of the British tanks. The ones that I'm familiar with, the AT-15A, Premium Tank Destroyer. It's also used on the AT. It's the top gun on the AT-8. And it's I think the second to top gun on the AT-7, which is the next tier up. So it's a good Tier 6 gun. It's got 171 penetration. That's not bad. Kind of crappy alpha damage at 150, but you can fire every 4 seconds or so. It's 12 rounds per minute. That's a pretty fast rate of fire for a gun that big. So you can do 300 damage to a tank very quickly, and you can kill a tank in less than a minute. So a big tank, if you think about it. If you get penetrations on, like, let's say a KV1 or a KV1S, or a T150, if you can hit him consistently, you can kill him in less than a minute. So you're probably going to out DPM him. So not bad. Plus you have all this armor. So things to watch out for. Really, you need to watch your step around the KV2 or the SU-100Y. Those are the two tanks that you need to be most afraid of, because they're going to just smash the crap out of your tank in one hit. I've gotten hit. One time I had a KV2 sneak up behind me, and he did 900 damage in a hit. So you really got to watch. You have very thin armor, and if he can get close, he's just going to smash you to bits. The SU-100Y, of course, does 500 a hit, and everybody has to watch out for him. But since you're slow moving, you're an easy target for those guys. It's going to be hard to get the tank hidden in time before you take the hit. So, kabam. So one of the things I've done to kind of help that a little bit, and of course Artie, you know, you got this big flat soft top, and I'm sure there's almost no armor up here, so you're going to be a big target for artillery. So I've used a spall liner to reduce the amount of damage. I do use the vents to help the crew do everything faster. And I also do a gun rammer to make the gun fire faster. I think those are the three probably most important things for this tank. I'm sure there'll be dissension among the ranks on that, but I feel like for my play style, I want to protect the tank as much as possible, make it last as long as possible, and that includes fast firing and the anti-artillery net, the spall liner, to stop some of those incoming rounds. Another thing of interest, obviously you've got this huge hull, so we can carry 144 rounds of ammo. I've never gone through that, and to be honest with you, it's got enough penetration on tier because it only sees tier 6 and 7. This gets the preferential matchmakings if you're interested in that. I don't need ACPR or HE, so I've never had to use it, and I don't feel like it's necessary. So let's go ahead, take a quick look at stats, and then we will run this bad boy. Okay, so here's my TOG rating. It's not great. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not very good with this tank. I do okay with it, and I've gotten better with it, but it is a very situational tank. So be prepared for that. You're not going to be a battle changer unless you have a platoon of 3 TOGs and you're all running top tier. Or, you know, the other thing that would be great would be to do like a TOG and 2 Ram 2s, like running perimeter defense. So you could, you know, work your way down and they could be your, you know, rear defenders, almost like a battleship and escort ships. Very much so. That would be a good combination. So, but you'd probably not want to, well, you could do that. You could do the Ram because the Ram sees tier 5, 6, and 7, and this sees 6 and 7. So you would have, you'd stay on your preferential matchmaking. So here we can see I've got a 47.87 win rate with this tank. That's not very good, especially over 200 battles. But this tank is not going to be a game changer, and I've kind of tried to warn you of that. You can make some difference, and I've had battles where I've killed the last 5 tanks because I had so much health I was able to beat them out. But it doesn't happen often. So I have more defeats than victories. I survived 36%, which is actually about 10 to 12% more than I normally do. So that's part of having all that health and being slow enough not to get to where the battle is. Decent hit ratio, 66%. That's about my average. Maximum experience per battle. My maximum ever was 2,000, just over 2,000. I know there's guys out there that have more. And good for you. I'm not that great. But this is, you know, non-premium. So 1,700, that's pretty good. Maximum destroyed in battle. I've gotten a couple top guns in this tank, though not a ton, but this is not bad. In fact, we can look at that. 2 top guns. There you go, a couple. I don't know. Sniper awards, definitely. Confederate, yeah. Steel walls. I don't know how I got a steel wall in this, but I did. Must have been a tier 6 battle. Defender once. Obviously, because you're going to be near the base. And some, you know, a lot of sniper awards because the gun is pretty accurate. Sharpshooter awards, that kind of thing. About 2 tanks per battle. That's not bad. Now, the damage ratio is going to be low, and that is because this tank has a lot of health. So you're kind of looking how much damage you've received versus how much you've dealt. Well, when you have a tank that has low alpha and it has a large hit point pool, you're going to end up on the negative end of things, and that's what I've done here. It's 0.78. So, all right, so this is not a good map for this tank because it's wide open, but we'll try to use this cover back here and snipe for a little while as long as I can. No artillery, interestingly, so I won't be having to worry about getting smacked from above, but definitely there's a concern there about those KV-1Ss. Those are your arch nemesis. However, my gun can penetrate the fronts of most portions of the tank. In fact, I've even pretty fairly easily penetrated the front of KV-1S's turrets before, which is kind of interesting that I'm able to get through that. So, but it is possible. So, I am planning on doing that. again, hopefully. Who do I got with me? The Sniper 4S. Panzer 4S, that's another interesting tank. I haven't done much of a review on that one either. Probably will do one soon here. So as you can see, having that traverse, see how fast he turns? And that's actually not bad for a tank this big. So that's where that clutch braking comes in. And I strongly recommend it if you don't have it. Okay, someone's right there. Yep. I'm going to back a little bit so I'm covered more by these trees. Trees are falling everywhere. Okay, there's the Excelsior. He might be able to pen me. I definitely can penetrate him. I need to keep backing. Poor Excelsior. He's just not matched up for this match. Yeah, so you can see this gun is not anything to balk at. It'll scare the pants off anybody. Oh, yeah. I got the Excelsior coming up my butt, though. I'm just going to keep firing, hopefully penetrating. And now I got to deal with this dude. Oh, yeah, and that dude. And that dude. KV-1. Now, he can damage me, but he's not going to be able to do enough to stop me. I'm going to kill him before he kills me. SU-100. Oh, he killed my gunner. Oh. That's one of the issues with this tank is that you are super paper thin. So you do lose modules and crew members pretty easily. Shoot. SU-100. I'm going to have to fix that gunner. So 5. Come on. Come on. Come on. 2. Come on, kill this SU-100. Keep him spotted. Shoot, what's going on? Why is my gun stuck? You've got to be kidding me. Well, I just got screwed. I don't know what happened there. Did you see my gun stick down? I was not doing that. That was a bug. I don't know if I got, what do you call it, lag? Our team's not doing so good. But I, on the other hand, am performing handily. I'm going to have to wait out that SU-100. I'm going to make him come around to me so he can't get to me unless he's totally spotted. Oh, come on, these guys. What are you doing? Trying to see if I can break through stuff to hit him. You know, thankfully this tank has enough rounds to do that, but I think that SU-100 probably is going to back off. But he did a number on my tank. Took away about half my health, so... Oh, boy. Oh, there he is. Is that him? Yep. He's a goner now. You're done for, buddy. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. And the KV-1S, and we're going to get our front turned. What on earth is our team doing? They're all freaking hiding in that one spot. Oh my gosh. Stupid morons. Yeah, he just spotted me. Yeah, he'll do damage, but oh well. We're going to lose anyway. All right. We lose. We're going to lose. I'm never going to make it to cap in time. And they're just all hiding. So. Here comes at least we can have fun while we're dying. Please stop cap, comma, I am on my way. It's never going to happen. Oh, well. Oh, well, comma, at least we had fun. Chinu. Goodbye, Chinu. Goodbye. Well, not quite a goodbye, but... I'm going to have a good game anyway. Well... Oh, the fun's over. Oh. Well, I can't tell if I hit him or not, but... That's one of the things you got to keep in motion. I still wouldn't have... Oh, they got it. Okay, I got to really move now. Nice. Well, they want to all kill me, so I guess I'll let them. They're gonna have at the TOG. This is getting ugly.
That one didn't go through.
Yeah, so you can't hit the. You're not gonna hit the front of that turret. So anyway, you can see what fun this tank is. Even though we totally lost, both teams were just having a blast making fun of the TOG. And that's one of the cool things about it. You are going to draw a lot of attention, and a lot of it's pretty funny. So, you know, all these guys, they decided to stop their cap to kill me. And that was okay with me because I made more money. So there's a decent score for the TOG. Now, I am premium. So without premium, that would have been a $42,000 battle. That's still good. You know, 1,000 experience. That is above my average. But like I said, I am getting better with this tank. So as my crew gets better, the tank gets better. But still, it's not enough to win. You're too slow. You're never, you know, like I said, when I saw that was happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, all the guys are bundled in that one little corner. We're never going to win. But that was fun. And I think that's a good TOG battle, a good TOG loss. Let's look at the team score. Was there any doubt? I did almost 3,000 damage. And the gun is the strong point of this tank. No, there's no question about that. And it was a good match. That was a good battle. I had a lot of fun. Look at all the damage I did. I got 2 hits minimum on every tank I ran into. Some 5, some 3, some 4. So anyway, let's go ahead and run one more, and then we'll call it a night. But as you can see, like I said, well, we'll talk about it at the end. Now here's a battle where I am probably not going to flourish. The TOG at tier 7 is tough. Tough. I'm going to head towards the city. I may get struck down as I cross the railroad crossing. That's my prediction. So Scout's going to spot me, and I'm just going to get pecked to death. One of the things about the TOG is that when people see a TOG, they feel like they need to decimate it as soon as it's spotted. So oftentimes, if you get out into the open, you're going to get picked to shreds instantly. And that's very common with the TOG. That is not... So get ready to have that happen. Everybody wants to kill the TOG. And then like you saw in the last battle, they just all came right after me. They decided to forego the cap and kill me because I'm a TOG. Kill them. So you will have a lot of people gunning for you, but if you're careful, it doesn't matter, and you'll do them a lot of damage too. So I think I'm going to stay over on this side. Now that we have all those tanks going that way, I thought a lot of our guys would... Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got the SU-100Y, T-150, and the, what was that, an E8? So, I'm going to die, but this will be fun. Okay, so there's the E8. Oh, he's definitely a softie, so I can get through his armor very... What? As I speak. Well, he's angling. He's doing a good job spinning around. Here comes the arty. You know it's coming. So we'll just keep him pinned. There's no point in trying to force. Actually, here's a good. Oh, yep, knew it. But I was pretty well covered. So there's the T-21. He's done. Oh, 2 bounces. RNG's not with me on this match, huh? Oh yeah, SU-100Y. He's gonna be. I'm gonna peck him to death. So, you know, these guys, they're being stupid. They're sitting out in the field, and why? Where did that bullet go? Oh, that might have been the SU-21. That might have been the SU. Oh, yeah, I'm done for. That must have been the MA. Oh, we're so screwed. Oh. I'm going to venture out because there's really nothing I can do much here. Well, yeah, big surprise there. So that's how a TOG performs in a tier 8 or tier 7 battle. You're screwed. Someone's complaining of lemmings. I don't really see much of a lemming rush actually. It was I mean, it was pretty good. The spread, I thought we did a pretty good job. They brought bigger tanks than we did. That T-29 and the SU-100Y. Though the SU-100Y is also a tier 6, but they brought so much firepower we just couldn't stop them. I just wanted to include this. Slapped onto the guy that killed me. He's reloading. He's got the autoloader. T-57's a pretty wicked little tank. I'm sorry, the 5916. I just sold mine because I got the WZ-131, but I really liked the 5916. I thought I'd include that little revenge kill. I didn't get much experience on that one, so going on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, so that would be a typical. I don't want to say a typical tier 7 battle. They don't always go that badly. I've had some amazing battles. In fact, if you watch I think it's the Thanksgiving, or no, it's the November sale, like the 13th through 17th, I think was the sale. And I have the TOG in that one and the AT-15A. And the TOG, you know, in that battle, I actually had a really good battle at tier 7. That was the top score. So it's not impossible. It just depends on the situation. That map, Ensk, is really bad for the TOG because there's nowhere to hide. You can't really tuck under anything aside from the buildings. And as you saw there, if you get overrun, you're just so that's what happened. But that I want to keep that because that is, you know, that happens too in the TOG. Don't be surprised when you get nosed over. Oh, and look at this. I came in right where I was, didn't I? It's kind of like the 5th, 6th place there. That's where I came in, and that's where I ended up. So not a good battle. But that happens in the TOG, and I want you to see that. And as you can also see, regardless of how I did, they were both losses. So you're not a game changer necessarily unless you're the top tank. And even then, I've had battles where I'm the top tank and I get spotted early and ripped to shreds and do nothing. So once again, I guess my final, what's the word I'm looking for? My final decree. That's not, doesn't matter. My final thoughts on this. It is worth it if it's on sale. 30% is good. 50% is better. I would not pay full price for this tank, honestly, unless you absolutely have to have it and you have clan mates that are like, you got to get a TOG so we can play together. Okay, that's cool. But in general, it's not worth 3,500 gold. It just isn't. It's not a performer. But it's a decent moneymaker. As you've seen, on a really bad battle, I made 20,000 gold premium. And then on a really good battle, I made 60,000 gold premium. And this is tier 6. That's pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed the review, and we'll consider this tank. Like I said, it is worth considering. It's like I said, just get it on sale. Don't buy it full price. Have a great afternoon. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll keep coming out with some cool videos. Have a good day.